Hi, my name is Joe Pardue, known on the internet as Smiley of Smiley Micros. I'm the author of Smiley's Workshop in the Nuts and Bolts magazine and several books. In this video, I'll show you how to complete the Simple Chaser Lights kit. The tutorial began in part 1. You'll find this kit from either Smiley Micros or Nuts and Bolts web store. And like I said before, this is my first video, so there's some problems.
Then, again, safety glasses. Now, you need to identify your 10K and your 220K ohm resistors that we saw in the schematic discussion. You can see on here, and let's see if this actually focuses. Focus. I guess if you squint, you can see where it says 221. The first two numbers there, the 22, are the numbers. The third number, the 1, represents the number 0, so that's 2210, so it's 2220. That's 220, and that is, as you've seen from the bill of materials, this is RN2, goes here. The pull-up resistors, again, let's look at that. Okay, there you go. You see it. 103. So the 3 is for 3 zeros, so it's 10000, that's 10K. And as we saw from our thing, that the schematic and the bill of materials, that's RN1. It goes here. Now we see I've made a little mistake. I probably should have put these on first because now I can't flip it over and hold them in position. So what I'm going to have to do is hold it in position with a finger. Oh, here we go. Or just wedge it on something. Hold it in position until I can tack down one pin. All right, so to hold it in position, what we'll do is we'll just bend one pin a little this way and the next pin a little that way. You see, and then down on this end we'll bend them a little bit like that and a little bit like that so that they're kind of back and forth. And that'll hold it in position until we can tack it down with the first pin. Okay, so those are all soldered on there. They're short legs. You don't necessarily have to trim them off, but I am noticing something, and that is that I'm going to have to come down here and do this a little bit closer for us to really see what we're doing. So let's just edit that last thing out, and let's get on here a little bit closer, and we'll look at the 10K. That's 103. Put that on there, bend a couple of the legs back in opposite directions from each other. Let's keep it under the camera. Opposite directions. See what I'm doing? Okay. Solder this first one. And solder this second one. And yeah, see, that's okay. Now, the next thing I'll do is I'll put on this 8-bit dip switch. And I'm going to, you see how it's got these switches sort of look like that. Let's just put it on here this way. Hold itself in position okay just by sitting it down flat. Let's tack on one pin and then check to make sure it's flat. One pin. Okay. Let it cool. Looks flat to me. That's a little, bend that back up. Okay. Now I've got to do 16 of these, so I'll do these and we will jump forward to the last pin here, and you can see that my soldering is go in focus. There you go. I don't know where you can see it or not. These are decent solder joints. They're not great. I probably wouldn't get a job doing this, but they'll do. Next thing, put in the socket. You put the socket in here. Make sure that you see the little, okay, if you look at this, you'll see the little notch on the end. And you want to make sure the notch goes on the same side as this notch on your solder mask. Put that in like that. Just hold it in position. And like I did before, you might bend one pin out over here and one pin out over here. And that will hold it in position. You probably want to, let's just lay it on this handle here. That'll hold it in position. You can look and see that it's in position. And when it's in position, I'll go ahead and hold it down and we'll solder one pin. I'm going to solder one pin, and I see immediately that it wasn't exactly in position, so I'm going to melt that and push it in. Oops. Yeah, do that off camera. Melted that, pushed it in. You can see this now in position, so we should be able to solder all the rest of the pins. Showing us soldering the last few pieces, last few pins. There we go. Okay, that's most of the stuff that's supposed to. Okay, you'll notice your, this is an Atmega 328, and it's got 28 pins on it. You'll notice that one end here has a little reddish dot on it right there, and there's a little divot. That divot matches the divot here, and that's where you do. You put your chip in there. Be real careful when you're doing this. The pins don't want to fit perfectly, and you can't really bend them more than once or twice without them breaking off. So get them in there, get them centered, push them in, just leave it in there. Okay? Next thing we want to do is we're going to The next thing we want to do is connect our power and ground. VCC and ground to our battery box. The VCC will be our red line, and we're going to put them in from the back. And the reason we're going to put them in from the back is because I'm going to use some hot glue, some high temperature hot glue on these to provide strain relief. If you don't provide strain relief, they'll bend and fatigue and break off. If you do put strain relief on there, you know, you still have to be a little bit careful with them. This was done just for pure economics. If I had to put a connector on that and a connector on the box, it would have just, the product would have cost that much more money. And we all like to save money, don't we? So let's put our safety glasses back on. And this thing must be magnetic. And we'll flush cut those down. And then we're going to pull this together, put it on the back like this, and we'll get our high temperature hot glue gun here. Bingo. And we squeeze out some hot glue on there. Okay. Squeeze out the hot glue. Let it cool a little bit. Put a little bit on this side. You know, this is the active strain relief, so decorate it up a little bit. Hot glue's cheap. Now then, just let it cool. If you use this high temperature hot glue, just remember this stuff will burn the you-know-what out of you if you get it on your skin. So, and also it likes to just pull out these little strings. So let it cool off. All right. Now we'll let it cool off, and we're ready to test it. Okay, see what I did? I put it on there and it stuck because it wasn't quite cool. All right, now we're ready to test it. And we test it with a couple of AA batteries. All right, we open up the box here. It just slides open. Batteries in. Then we turn it on, and voila! We get a scrolling pattern. Let's try this. Now we got our little Cylon eye thing going, right? Why, it's a miracle. It worked first time. Okay, well that was how to assemble the Simple Chaser Lights kit from Smiley Micros that you can get at either SmileyMicros.com or on the Nuts and Bolts website.